So yeah, let us just continue with our last session. So and we have actually only the carbonatides left. And then I have some pictures which I had done by myself while I was visiting an active volcano. So but at first something organizing. You should hand in by the middle of next week the second test. Is this possible? I loaded it up on Moodle on Monday for ES303 and ES301. So I should have it by Wednesday next week. Because I have to upload till the end of next week, that means by Friday, all the marks. So then you have your continuous assessment, and then they have just written today an email, you know, from the faculty that we have, the lecturers have to upload the marks by Friday the 3rd. So I should then have your second test by Wednesday the 1st, because I need some time to mark it. Yeah? And you know, I will just go through to span. Okay. So and then you have the continuous assessment by Friday next week. From that what I saw from your test 1, that looks actually all fine. For the preparation for the examination, you are studying all the questions from test 1 again and test 2 again. Yeah? I know why I'm saying this. So, but there may be slight differences. It's not just slight, yeah? So, but you should be able to draw all the things, to draw all these sketch maps, yeah? So to draw these sketch maps, you have it also on Moodle or on the movies, yeah? So whatever is those sketch maps which you have drawn by yourself in class, yeah? These are all very good sketch maps, and then you should be able to draw this again, yeah? Maybe with a pencil, not with a ball pen, maybe with some color, yeah? And you should be able to describe it. So, and the field trip is then from the 20th to the 23rd of June. Yeah? I think the 20th is the Monday, yeah? So, and then we are back on the Thursday, yeah? So, and there we are going to run to 11, yeah? And from you were not on the field trip ES301, yeah? So then you should, but you will come to the ES303, yeah? So then you are just writing additionally for the ES301 a small report from these hot springs there, how they can be used in applied geology. So and then I can just multiply the things from the field book by 2. I think that is fair enough, yeah? So then let us just continue with the carbonatides. So usually we should do in the volcanology class also the kimberlites, but the kimberlites we have already discussed it in ES301, so I will not repeat it again. So here we have now the carbonites. So and the first question is, where do we find carbonites? There is a very famous volcano in Tanzania, that is the Oidengo Lengai, and there you find carbonatites. That is in the East African Rift. So there you can find carbonatites. So then you can find some other carbonatites in Canada, and you can find also some in Finland. And others in the Kaiserstuhl in Germany. So are the tight localities for carbonatides. So the first question is, what are carbonatides? So what are carbonatides? These are melts which has a high concentration of CO2 and calcium. Carbonatides are rich in calcium plus CO2. Therefore, they are called carbonatides. So, and they are, carbonatides are mantle melts. Are mantle derived melts. So, and when they are mantle derived melts, then where in the mantle, from which minerals do you see this carbonatitic melt has been formed? And in which minerals you find in the Earth's mantle? So the Earth's mantle is made up generally of peridiotides, yeah? So in these peridiotides, you saw them in Poro. These are lersolides, arsolides, and unides. So that means we need CO2 in the mantle. If CO2 is present in the Earth's mantle, in the peridotitic mantle. In the peridotitic mantle, then carbonatitic melt can be formed. So, and you know by now and that is at high pressures and temperatures. At high PT. So, and you know by now, if you are just switching now back to the ES303, there we talked about all these peridotides, and if a peridotide becomes metamorphosed, then you can make, on the other hand, you can make a serpentinite, yeah, which is made up of the mineral serpentine, which you can then find in ophiolites, or you can, or this peridotite was in contact with a lot of CO2, then you are making a soapstone. So, and there at high pressures and temperatures, if you have enough CO2, then you will form a carbonatitic melt, and this carbonatite will then have minerals, carbonate So we then have carbonatitic minerals, and that is, for example, dolomite and andesite. So in such a dolomite contains calcium, magnesium and CO2. So, and if this carbonatitic melt or this carbonatitic melt, I told you just now, that is formed in the mantle, if you have enough CO2, that means that is an early formed melt. That is an early formed melt. So, and if we are talking about an early formed melt, then it is a primary mantle melt, and this primary mantle melt is then a primitive melt. So, and you know what a primitive melt by now is? These are melts where you have a very low concentration on rare earth elements, like the light rare earth elements, the heavy rare earth elements, and the high strength field elements. So that means all this incompatible stuff you will not have in a primitive melt. And I told you this just at the beginning of the class, you will not find or another primitive melt. These are, for example, the morphs, yeah? So I can remove this. So, then another point is CO2 is very incompatible. So that is very incompatible. What means this? It becomes enriched in the residual melt. So what means this now? That is not a residual granitic melt, that is a residual mantle melt, because it is produced when you have enough CO2 present in your peridotites. So, and these peridotites are originally very depleted, so and therefore it is a primitive melt, but due to the fact that CO2 is very incompatible, then you will enrich it there in a residual melt. So, and there you are forming then your carbonate. And if you are comparing it Or if you have a silicate melt, then you know by now that most of all melts or hard masks are silicate melts. And there you have an immiscibility gap. So you cannot mix up a carbonacitic melt with a silicate melt. That means then liquid immiscibility. So that means, to make it again more understandable, if you cannot mix up a melt, you can do this by a very kitchen experiment. You are drinking just a bottle of Coke, and immediately afterwards you are drinking a bottle of milk. And then you will see how you will explode. Yes? Just try it. So that is liquid immiscibility. Because if you would drink a bottle of Coke and afterwards a bottle of Fanta, then you are making just a mezzo mix, yeah, because there you have no immiscibility. Yeah? But it works not with milk and Coke. And or you can, if you don't like to erupt by yourself, you can just use a glass, putting Coke inside and milk inside. And then you will see that the Coke is losing their color. Yeah? It becomes then very pale. Yeah? So that is the same what happens in your stomach. So, but if we are going now back to petrology, then we are using again a triangle, because a triangle is also so beautiful, and one can draw it very easily. Even I can do this. So, and then we have here sodium, Na2O, then we have here silica, Si2O2, and Al2O3, and here we have our CO2 flush. No, we have here not CO2, we have here calcium oxide. So then you have here, you can produce then a silicate melt that is somewhere here in this form. That is a silicate melt. So, and here around, you will produce a carbonacitic melt. Titic melt. So, and between here and here, we have here NL. NL, let us just make it in purple. So if you have a melt composition here, then you can either go this way and produce a carbonacitic melt, or you can either go this way and produce a silicate melt. But you cannot mix them up. So that is then our immiscibility gap. So that's the way how it looks like. So therefore we have two explanations. First, that is that if we are starting here, then you have unmixing of a primitive magma or second, we have unmixing of a highly fractionated and what I have written here, CO2 rich peridotitic or nephelitic belt. So that's actually all 2 carbonatides. A carbonatitic well is by far not that hot like a basaltic well. Basaltic well is about 1000 to 1200 degrees Celsius, whereas a carbonatitic well has temperatures of about 500 to 600 degrees Celsius. So and that is the reason why a basaltic well, I will show you then the pictures, is reddish because it's so hot, and a carbonatitic well is grayish. So and that is very even more dangerous because if you are visiting the Oidengulengai, and a former colleague of mine, he studied with me, he was visiting the Oidengulengai and then he left his tent during the night, and he went out of his tent during the night because I think he just likes to go and have a pee or something like this, and then he was sticking in this carbonatitic well because he could not see it. So then they had to bring him down to the airport. You know, these donkeys in Tanzania, they have a lot of donkeys, and you cannot drive with cars on the top of Oidengulengai, and he was very, very badly burned, yeah, because he had not lead shoes like the man of the moon. He has just some sport shoes, and then it was very. So, don't stick him in a carbonatitic belt. So, and now we will continue a little bit with figures, or not with figures, with pictures. Something happened here. Yes. Wonderful. So here I have just a few figures which I made by myself while I was visiting Etna and Stromboli and Vulcano in southern Italy. So, and actually I would like to show this in nature because it looks at Tana Vulcano in Vanuatu the same, but anyway we could not get it. So that is now early in the evening, and that is Stromboli, and I was just on the neighbor crater on the other side. So, and there I was using a stative, you know, such a fixed thing, where I could put my camera, and then you could just leave the blender while open, you know, the aperture, for quite 20 seconds or something like this, and then you can make these wonderful pictures, yeah? So, and that was actually my plan with you while to go to Vanuatu, because there they have a Tana volcano, everywhere these tree houses around the volcano, and then you can just sit in such a tree house and making then these pictures. So, and Stromboli is a very active volcano in southern Italy, and it erupts actually every 15 to 20 minutes. So you can go there and there you have a guarantee that something happens, yeah? Because it's nothing more boring to sit in front of a non-erupting volcano. So in Tana, as far as I heard, it is erupting every 10 to 15 minutes. So that is, there I was at the top, that is now Etna. And Etna is in Catania, in Sicily, and Etna is very dangerous. So it is not erupting every 10 to 15 minutes, you know, if a volcano is erupting frequently, then they are not so dangerous, because the pressure can always become released, yeah. Etna is very, very dangerous. So, but I was there in 1998, and I could manage it just to go at the top. So that means that is then how it looks like if you are looking inside the volcano. It was then quite a little bit dangerous, because actually we were not allowed to go there. We were actually, Etna is 3,800 meter high. So when we got such huge Alva trucks from the military, where we could manage it to go very far, and the rest we have then to walk. So it sounds then also very dangerous, like a crocodile or something like this, yeah. So and the whole earth is trembling. So it is a very, very, very great feeling. So that is just a view inside the volcano. It was then erupting every few minutes, and the whole student group were running around on the volcano, and one student got then also such a bomb on his head. Yeah, it was then a little bit a bloody thing. So, but that is then an experience or an adventure where you can, which you have for your whole life. So these are such lava flows that was also at the Etna, and these are such lava flows at the flanks. So when they are just, the lava is just coming out everywhere around the volcano, and these are actually very dangerous things. You can see I was very close to it, yeah? So, but here the melt is still very reddish and you can see it. That, you can just see it and then you will not jump in, yeah? So, but the dangerous thing is, it cools them from outside to inside, and then you are forming a very, very thin skin, and this thin skin is then dark, so but the skin is very thin, and if you are walking around then you can break in. Yeah? So here again, yeah, there it cooled down a little bit more, and then it is always just breaking it off. And at the ground of the volcano, where you have everywhere these flames, there you are forming then these lava channels. So when you saw such lava channels also during your field trip on Koro, there were also these just straightforward channels. So, but there, I mean, there you could not see anymore any melt because it cooled down. Here again. So here that is again Etna from the top. I was then just standing somewhere here and made this photograph. So that is on the way to Stromboli, because if we visited, or when we visited Stromboli, we could not make it, or we didn't have any transport because it is not possible to go there. So we had to leave in the afternoon to climb up the neighbor crater where we could make these pictures. So, and that is then just late in the afternoon without using a static and without opening the aperture, and then you can just see all the small pieces of lava which are coming out, and of course they are cooling them down very, very fast. And then you are forming these volcanic bombs, which my colleague got on his head. So that is then more far away, and it is still during the day, but you can see here how these pieces of lava coming out of the erupting volcano. So here again during the day. So, and here we have something else. I told you this before also in class. So that is a sleeping man, I think so, yeah, who died 79 years after Jesus. So, and that was when the Vesuv was erupting. So when the Vesuv is not in Sicily, the Vesuv is in Napoli, and Napoli is a town in southern Italy. So when I told you in class that these ash flows, or the ash which is produced by a volcanic eruption, these ash flows are very, very fast. They are running down the hill with more than 200 kilometers per hour. So when Vesuv was erupting during the night, of course, because most of the people sleeping during the night and not during the day, yeah? Except me. So, and this was then, there you can see still the beds and the guy is still lying around. So when they found all these people, because I mean these ash flows, they are these tubs, yeah? So and these tubs are very fine grained sediments, but they are not very solid, they are not stable. So scientists were walking around, I think it was maybe 1960, 1970. I told you this also before in class, with a stick, yeah, with a huge wooden stick or metal stick. So and then they found everywhere and then they put this stick in the ground, in this tub. And then they discovered that there were everywhere empty air spaces. So and then they put just gypsum inside, and then they got all the sleeping people and all the killed animals, because the animals were not sleeping that high because they can recognize it before. So, but anyway, that's the way how it looks like, and that is actually close to Napoli, and the town which was destroyed 79 after Jesus was Pompeii, yeah, Pompeii. So if you are watching TV and you are watching these old movies, you know, dealing with Caesar and Cleopatra and all this stuff, there Pompeii was still intact. So but now they have made up or built up the whole town, because actually they had just removed all this volcanic ash, and then they could discover all the remnants from the houses and from all the 9 forts. So that is again Etna from the top. So that is now again Etna from the top. That is again Stromboli. Stromboli is just an island in the Mediterranean Sea. So, and therefore you can see here just in the back the Mediterranean Sea. That is just smoking Stromboli. So, and these are these fumaroles. I mentioned to you in class these fumaroles. You can see here everywhere the sulfur, and that is on the way to the volcano. The name of the volcano is volcano. So, and there you can see here everywhere these fumaroles. That is the sulfur, and what happens there, it is very, very stinky, because it is just smells after H2S. So that is now a very beautiful picture, and that is then Stromboli by night. When I was there at the neighbor crater with the stative and with the opening aperture. And then you can make these beautiful pictures, yeah. So here again, Stromboli by night, you can see even the whole sky is then vanished, because this high temperature basaltic melt, which is produced here by the volcano. But last not least, now we are coming back to applied geology and petrology. What can you see here? Exactly here. What is this reddish ball? That is a tomato. No, it's not a joke. It is a tomato because I know it, because I put it by myself. So now we are just coming back to petrology, you know, to applied geology. So what is interesting, we have here a basaltic belt which has about 1100 degrees. So but that the picture which I have taken, or I have done it shortly afterwards when I put the tomato there, yeah? Because if you are heating up this tomato too long, what happens then if we are going back to our ES303 and our thermodynamic calculation? We have here the pressure, we have here the temperature, here we have, let us say, 3 phases, yeah, 3 phases. So, and then we are heating up this tomato here. So what will happen with the tomato? Huh? Yes, it will just explode. So because the water inside the tomato, and you know by now for those of you who have already eaten a tomato, but I think everybody has done this, yeah? You know there is a lot of water inside. And if we are now going back to our phase metrological calculation, I mean, what you learn in my class must have some use, yeah? So what happens then to the volume with the tomato? It will increase. Yes. So and what happens then to your entropy, which you like so very much? It will also increase, yeah? So then we have at medium pressures or low pressures, low temperatures, we have here the modification tomato. So then we will increase here, we will cross here the boundary, yeah? What we are making then at high temperatures. The volume will increase, the entropy will increase. Then our tomato undergoes a phase transition from here to here. And what is then here? That is just the tomato soup. So that is just the tomato soup, yeah? So, but now we are not putting this tomato on a basaltic bed. Now we are throwing this tomato in a subduction zone. And what happens then maybe after 20 million years? What will happen when we are putting this tomato in a subduction zone? And what happens then with the pressure? That will increase, yeah? So when we are increasing the pressure on one tomato, then the volume will decrease, yeah? So and if the volume will decrease, what happens with the density? That will also increase, yeah? So and what phase transition do we have then from here to here? You get it just here in the supermarket. Most of the time it's important and Heinz is written. Yes, then you are getting tomato sauce, let us say ketchup, yeah? So that is then here the tomato ketchup. So and that is applied geology or volcanology, yeah? You can observe all these things in your kitchen. The kitchen experiments are actually always the best. You can model everything only by using a tomato, yeah? And you can even by using a tomato calculate the phase diagram and the stability field of these variations, yeah? I don't know who will pay you for this, but maybe somebody can be found, yeah? So, and now I'm at the end from the ES303, yeah? Again, you should study these two tests. Again, I will give you all the marks by the end of next week. But you have to hand in the second test by the Wednesday next week. And I will also upload then next week, by the end of next week on Moodle, a written summary what we have done here. Yeah? And the field trip is between the 20th and the 23rd. And then there is another very important thing. I will also write it again on Moodle. When you are writing the examination, yeah, and you are early, you will finish earlier. Yeah? And this one you will finish earlier because it is not too much. So then you should not stand up and leave immediately, because otherwise I will get problems. Because then they are telling me that I made the examination too easy or they are too less questions. So don't do this, because otherwise the next ES303 students will suffer about this. Yeah? Because, but that is not because of me, the faculty is then coming, yeah, the dean and the vice dean and everybody, yeah. So that is the same for the ES301. So, but the ES301 has much more questions compared to the ES303. So now I cannot help you more, yeah. Yeah, and I will also upload then the new movies, yeah, but this is now the last one, then you should have them, yeah?